Okay, there we go. Good night, good night, good night, good night, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Fathers from near and far, fathers from Jupiter to Mars. Welcome to the Fatherhood Think Tank. I am your curator, Dr. Ron Osborne Williams, and we have our host of fathers tonight. Uh, oh my God, this man come on looking like straight. I know we're gonna get some words tonight because he almost he shocked my introduction with his outfit, so I know we're gonna get some words tonight. Uh, welcome, welcome everybody to the Fatherhood Think Tank, where we come together. If you have not done so, like, share, subscribe to us so you can know when we're going to be on and you can hear some of this father thought-provoking conversation for fathers by fathers to share with not just fathers but to the world. Tonight we're going to be talking about a topic and also going to be dealing, sharing some information about a topic about housing. We know that if you live anywhere, basically in the United States, the rent, the mortgage is too damn high, as well as the ability to be able to really live and have a place to live for you, for your family, you know, even if, and being able to have the support is a difficult thing. And we know that when you go and take an investigation of homeless people in America, because to be homeless in America means it's a very simple definition. We sometimes look at people and say, "Oh, look at them people on the train under the alleys and what have you." But those are, they are the notable homeless. But the definition for homeless is anyone who does not have their name on a lease, a deed for housing. So if you don't have your name and your family within your family name, it's not on some type of property where you live, you are technically considered homeless. So if one family stand with a cousin who has a house that they renting, those people are homeless. So homelessness is we are all probably and can be at many points as working class people one step away. And as fathers, we are probably can even be closer depending on the type of financial money we have and not only financial money, but how our money can become thin air very fast. So the fathers know what I'm talking about, talking about there and all the things we're responsible for. So, all right, so let's get down to it. I'm going to let the fathers introduce themselves, and then we're going to come back after the father introduces himself and understand how to not be a homeless father. Take it away, guys.
Hey, good afternoon. Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Lionel Lightborn. I'm a father to a tribe of 7 young adults, 3 young ladies, 4 young men, one granddaughter, and one grandson. So it's always a pleasure to be
To
here.
not be
See
a
what's
home.
coming.
Good night, fathers. My name is Rohan Rodok. I'm a, I'm a father of two young ladies, teenagers, and one adult, I should say. Um, as I always say, it's a pleasure to come to this program and learn and share knowledge and education and prevention. It's all about educating everyone, and I thank you for allowing me to be on this program. Thank you.
Good
Good
evening,
night,
fellas.
fathers.
Go ahead, Vincent.
Oh, my bad, man. Good night, fathers. This is Vincent. I'm a father of four, and just came here to fellowship with you guys. Thank you.
Good evening, fellas. J. Rob Menard, father of two young adults.
This is Elder Thomas Alberry, a father of two young adults that are married, a son, Thomas III, and my daughter, Keena. And of those two, we have 7 grandkids, 5 young ladies and 2 young men. And coming up this June, my wife will be and I will have be married for 50 years.
Oh,
Nice.
And,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
1973, baby.
oh.
74.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey, hello everyone. I'll go. I am a father of 0, but I had an amazing father, and I came here invited by Lionel. I'm starting a fatherhood initiative inside barbershops, and so I was connected with Lionel, I think 2 days ago. So I just wanted to come on, see what this is about. I'm at an event I'm about to host in a few minutes, so I'm going to jump off in a few minutes. But I just wanted to come on and hear some of the conversation and say hello to you all.
Thank you.
Hey, welcome, fam.
Welcome, welcome.
Frederick Adams, a father of 3
Welcome.
and 1 grandson.
Justin.
Chad and Justin, y'all only 2 left.
Well, we know sometimes people will be in the middle of other stuff. Let's just start getting on this conversation, man. I guess that one of the first things I want to be able to throw out there and put into the air is a question I have probably for everybody here, and that will lead us into our conversation. If you would care to share, have you ever been on the verge, even in the reference of the definition, teetering on homelessness? And as I ask that, I'm going to be first to share that, and because I can speak about being homeless and probably didn't have to be homeless. Let's say that I was homeless as a child. Probably part of the homelessness came through domestic violence. And maybe if I was with my bio father, right, not with a stepfather, I would have never seen homelessness, right? So if you don't ever see probably wouldn't never see homelessness. But it also was something that became, it wasn't like homeless on the street, homeless in the shelter. But I'll tell you one mindset that the memory of that sits with me so strong. So when we end up going to wherever we want, we end up at the YWCA. Right? Is that the YW? Not the YWCA. No, not the YMCA, the YWCA.
Okay.
Why? Yeah, because you must have.
Yeah, that's correct. YWCA is correct.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we ended up there at their, I guess it was their shelter or our living facility. So me, my mother, my sister. After one night there, we had to leave. Because some women that were there said that it was some strange man standing around, and they felt uncomfortable about the man who was living in the facility that was kind of for like women and children. That man was me, the boy. I wasn't a man, I was just a boy. And that next day, so imagine we're out homeless a couple of days. We go to a place, think we're gonna be safe. And the next thing I know, we out of there and to another place, And so that always remembers in my mind is that there ain't no place for you, man. you know, if it came to the Shook and Brook and there was no other place to go, my mom and sister might have had to stay there, and I might have had to find somewhere to have to really go. Only being about 12 or 13, maybe, or something of that matter. I mean, I was a kid. I wasn't no grown man. I was still a kid. And that's what I think about when I think about homelessness, that experience. Now, I've probably been homeless all of my adult life, except about 4 or 5 times. Because most of the time I've always had a roommate, and their name was on the lease or the whatever, and I was just kicking in the money on the side. Again, that's homeless again, even though we don't define it. But I'm thinking of that. Luckily, every room I had was a roommate, not a honeydew, because that's the same thing happening. Honeydew, your boo-boo, your baby, she is on the lease. She got the right to get the crib, and then when something happens, you homeless. You just one stop. You got to go back to your mama house if your mama let you come to the house. So those things that I think about when I think about being homeless. And I was a father, staying in a home with other people. The time I have been a father, so that means bring our kids. And it's funny because we would bring our kids. The kids would come to the house that we stayed in. The different men in the house I lived in, and they would have their kids would be there and things of that nature. So it was like a different kind of environment, but it wasn't a set environment like people would consider. And at any moment, you can find yourself maybe out on the street. So that's when I think about a memory, a mindset of being homeless. So Jefferson, if you want to say anything before you got to go to the, or maybe even speak to anything before you go, definitely welcome you to do that.
Sure. Well, thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it. And man, I regret that I have to leave, because the conversation that y'all are starting to have here about homelessness is a really important one. So I'll just say quickly, in regards to the initiative that I mentioned. So I'm the founder of Barbershop Speaks. We host intelligent discussions inside barbershops and beauty salons. And we've been doing that for about 8 years now. And we have conversations on mental health awareness, financial literacy, voter education, etc. And we've mostly done it in Dade County, but we've also done it in Orlando, Atlanta, New York, Philly, and DC as well. And this year, we're having conversations specifically with fathers the last Monday of every month between February and November. And it's inside a barbershop. And I'll drop the details in the chat before I leave. And we're going to have conversations on things like emotional intelligence, trauma, financial literacy, leadership, work-life balance, and the whole nine. And so I'm excited for the conversations, and I really hope that you all can join. From what I hear already, y'all are already having important and powerful conversations. So I give you all the love and everything that you all deserve. Your flowers right now for just doing what you are doing now. I hope that you all can make it. It's in North Miami that we're having these conversations. The first one is in 6 days. It's on Monday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. But I appreciate you all already. I just met you all, but I appreciate you all and want to just continue to send love your way.
Jefferson, before you go, can you drop that info in the chat?
Yes, I will. I'll send that over right now.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you, man.
All right. Anybody else? Anybody else with experience or mindset or idea or their opinion about homelessness, being homeless?
Well, I was homeless at one point when my mom lost her faith, basically by choice, because I didn't want to stay with my cousins, and then so my mom ended up staying with them. So I didn't want the politics of that. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just find my own way, and I did. but eventually, but what I did was I had me a car and I was working with AAA at the time. What's crazy was my girl was married with my first daughter. It was kind of tough, but I just saved up and I waited for my taxes to come, and I had a settlement too. So that made me find my first place. But before that, I was going through a lot because I was basically living in my car, and I ended up living in one of the storage facilities at my while I was working for AAA. So I just basically overworked myself and focused on my job and just stacking up bread to the point where when I finally did get my place, I vowed to not stay with nobody, even though now I'm kind of staying with somebody, but it's a different situation because, like you said, my name is on the list.
Yeah, well, you ain't staying with nobody your name on the lease.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. My bad.
Hey, listen, you ain't staying with nobody. That's your crib because when the people come, that's the question there. Who name on the lease? Everybody else,
Exactly.
go.
Yeah. Correction. My name is on the list now, so I'm happy. I'm happy about that. So yeah. I mean, so that's a good thing. I mean, it's a humbling experience, by the way. When you're homeless, when you have everything taken away from you, then you don't have nothing, and then you build yourself and have something. The appreciation that you had before then should open your eyes and realize what your mother, your dad, everybody been telling you in your life all this time. Like, you need to appreciate this. You need to be humble about this. You need to do this. You need to do that. Take accountability for your actions. It hits different when you get up and you have to go to work, but you don't feel like going to work. I don't care if I'm sick. I'm gonna be at work. Why? Because those bills is always gonna need to be paid. They're not going nowhere. The bills. God rest my soul. But when the time comes, I'm gonna be dead, and no bills gonna still be here. So that's not gonna change for nobody.
Yep,
That fee.
that's deep.
Mhm.
Well, I've been close to homeless. Yeah, I can talk from my experience, because we all have different experience. I went through a divorce, and one of the things I learned, I remember going to the courthouse, that famous courthouse. It's downtown. I live in Broward, and the first thing the lady said to me was, "Welcome to the business part of a marriage. Love is not mentioned in here." I never forget that. It's graved somewhere in my head. And what I learned when I went through the whole system, the courthouse going back and forth, is when the judge said, "Man, everything will be sold. Give her this, give her that, give her that, give her that." I'm like, "What?" And I realized, as a total stranger came into my life and change the whole entire journey. And of course, we had to pull hoops and had to do all our stuff to try and keep a roof over me and my kids' head, because that was the situation. And one of the things the bank said to me was, you have debt. I said, "What debt?" They said, "Well, child support is your debt." I said, "How can child support be your debt?" He says, "Well, you pay child support. You have a debt." And I learned about debt more, and that my children can actually be debt. And I tell you, it was a very tough time. And I see why people can end up committing suicide, because what happens when you go through things that you don't understand, and let me use the word don't understand, your stress level goes up. You worry about not only you worry about where your kids are going to stay in case something happens with the mom. Sometimes they have their issues. And I can tell it was it was really an eye-opening case. And I remember the Caucasian guy kept calling to buy the house, and you would say, "You're selling the house, man. You're lonely. Sell the house. Get out of the house." Because those folks have money, so they're gonna call it. You know what I mean? A lot of them call me Indians. I got Caucasian. Most of those two called. And I remember one saying to me, "Next time you have a wife, handle your business." And I'll never forget that. And I think that he woke me up. If I could meet that guy today, I would say, "Man, thank you," because he said, "Handle your business." And I just woke up out of my stress and started handling my business. And here I am today. I'm not a homeowner, but have a roof where the kids can at least come and lay down. Still got drama with the mom, but I don't do drama anymore. So, it's a journey in life where we all, I believe, along the journey, we got potholes, we got bridges, we got train lines. Along the journey, you have to be really tough to survive as a male, because the expectations of a male is different from a female, in my opinion. Food for thought.
Well, I'm glad you asked this question. So how do we navigate how do you navigate homelessness or being a homeless father? I think the fact that we're in Black History Month, being homeless goes hand in hand with Black history. I'll tell you why. And because I think most of us, particularly if you grew up in the inner city, Ron, you just mentioned or shared your story, and I'm going to share mine now. The fact that homelessness was always a possibility, and so with that, where the history come in, and particularly the Black history come in when it comes to homelessness, is how you take that trauma or the trauma of being homeless and turn tragedy into strategy. Now, I think if you experience that tragedy of being homeless or nearly homeless, or in my case, we was moving every 6 months to a year. Keep in mind, I'm gonna give you the backstory. My mother had 1 child and her sister had 8. So it's a total of 9 kids in the house at any time, ranging from a 2 to 3 bedroom at any given time. So we would average about 6 months to a year. I think the most we ever lived in one place was 2 years, up until the point I met my stepdad. And so homelessness, again, that particular tragedy was so consistent in our lives. It started to make us more proactive, or for lack of a better word, resilient per se. And so if you experience it enough, or the near misses, because we got the eviction notice. I remember only 1 time out of the time we were getting evicted. And I'm talking, we got evicted a lot of times. Our stuff actually got put out on the on the street or whatever the case may be. But I do remembering that my mom and my aunt, them pulling so well together, and my grandaunt and all of them, they solidified what it was to really be a village. And so you would always hear the terminology of what it is, what a village is, but you never knew that you was existing in it and benefiting from it, and it was shielding and protecting and providing for you at that time in those tragedies and those particular experiences. And so you experience it enough, then what would seem like a tragedy today is nothing but a strategy for you. I'm sorry, a tragedy yesterday is nothing more but a strategy for me today, which makes me more, it's where I draw my activism from. And so where most people would be traumatized by homelessness is actually fuel for whatever knowledge I may have. It make me want to elevate on how to protect and teach people on how not to be homeless and how to not let homelessness turn into hopelessness. I'm going to be honest with you. You can overcome homelessness, but you can't overcome hopelessness. You understand? And so I can fix homelessness again, but I can't fix hopelessness. And that's I won't even say the power of homelessness, because homelessness really don't have no power. It has a lot of influence, but it doesn't have no power, because the whole reason homelessness exists is to go ahead and try to intimidate you with the hopelessness. And so surviving them strategies myself, and I'm talking about as a child, you understand, and understood that less sophisticated and less educated people, right, made sure a house of 9 children never slept one day on the streets, put a greater indictment on me as a man today to make sure if I only have 7 kids, you understand? So having 7 kids, and to make sure that they never see a night on the streets. You understand? And so because of that, the strategy, where the tragedy becomes strategy, I started to understand the totality of the village. And I started to understand that you never take not one person in your life for granted. This is why I totally disregard that saying, people talking about your haters. I'm like, hold on. That's your village. And never classify them as your hater, because there is greater hate out there that will see you homeless, that will see you starving, and that will see you dead. But nobody in that village should be classified as a hater, because you never know when you're going to need them to help you. Mm-hmm. And so today's hater could be tomorrow's help. That's why we got to be very careful on how we let people hijack our narrative you understand, to distort our village. But I'm going to leave it right there and let somebody else go. So that's just my take.
It's open for anybody. And it, don't let, because Lionel give his lecture, you feel like, oh, well, this is a TED talk and you can't get in. It's a webinar, and if you on the Zoom, your mic can be open. You can say anything you want to say, brother. And I'm only saying it because I know we have some names I don't know, some new people on here, just so. And I know sometimes people come on the platform, they want to be respectful and they don't want to break in it. But we don't have no protocols here. This is a meeting. Like, we come into a meeting and everybody can say whatever they want to say in reference to what we talk about.
Wash your hands, man. The full head.
Yeah. So definitely we welcome you to your thoughts, your feelings, because that's because we're gonna, I think that this is the only way people get to really understand us as fathers and as men, what we're really thinking about, how we really look at different things, and learn to experience what we experience. Sometimes people think they understand what men and fathers' experiences are, even other men, right? And we don't, because everyone's experience is unique. Everyone's experience is their own. And even when we have these different experiences, like even what is it? Oh, like Vincent said, his homeless experiences gave him the empowerment to know what he wanted to do in the future, and how he need to handle things in the future, and how now he has a lease. He has his name on a lease or the deed or the property of that house that he's in. So these are the kind of things that we need to understand and be able to have some real dialogue and conversation with.
Yeah, it's open to share your experience. Remember, this is your experience. So however you felt any relationship that you might have had with homelessness in the past, or think you may have with homelessness in the future, or even in the present.
Right, great point.
Share that experience. That's yours. You own that. That's the only way you can take embarrassment and turn it into empowerment. You can't really embarrass an African American anyway. You understand? Right. You did slavery. We didn't survive that. So what else can you do?
So,
big facts.
Rohan already said that, he got a divorce and he was about to be homeless. And I know Rohan's story, so I'll just say a little bit because we tight buddies. Rohan said, no, I give you whatever you need. I'm gonna keep the house.
In fact,
now that's a smart man right there.
Well, I can give a better one. I went to court and they said to me, "Why are you here?" I said, "I'm here to represent myself." They said, "Are you mad?" Nobody represents himself in court. But I'm a guy who do numbers, and anyone want to learn about numbers, I'm the guy to talk to about that. I actually gave her $5,000 to buy her own house. You see, in life, numbers play a big role. Many of us fathers will learn that as we go along the game. So you have to learn to manage your money. Ron, talk about the program tomorrow. You're right, Ron. I probably need to go. I have to go on that program.
Yeah, you got to find a way to log on, because and I'm only saying it because not so often do we really maximize our property and our houses when we have them. If you make, and a major group of people that are looking for in this population of people that make under $100,000, and I said, shit, that's most black dudes who have a house, and in their household, depending on what their cap value is, how much they make, even if they with their wife, what the cap value of how much they make is one of those things that they're really going to talk about how to kind of cut down. So I'm going to share that information towards the end. And again, if you go on and you are quality, as they said, the guy explained to me, if you're able to, if you're on and you get qualified, they will give you a gift card for such and such amount of money for attending the workshop. I think it's like an hour or 2 hour workshop. So, just something to look into, as we'll share later. But this goes along with our whole homelessness conversation. If we have a home or don't have a home, and how do we operate those things, and how fast at any moment we could be a father with children, happy with our dream house, and then we could be at the courthouse and they telling us, you better find somewhere to live, and you got, you homeless. Your kids and wife not gonna be home. Your ex-wife and your kids probably not gonna be homeless because you're gonna have to provide some type of means for them to live and what have you. So, but you might not be able to. And I think that's something for us to think. I think about this very often. And marriage is established not for romance and love. I think people forget that. They want to listen, you can love and be romantic with a life partner that you never lived with, that you don't share money with. You can do all those things. People do it all the time. But when you make a decide, I think you make that decision to be married, you're putting all your stuff together with the other person. And if you put all your stuff together with the other person, there is no like, oh, when we leave, I'm gonna take my stuff, you take your stuff. It's like having, like once you mix the cereal and the milk, right? You can say, I want to get the cereal back, but the cereal already soggy, his milk is all into it. You're not gonna get that pure milk cereal back, and you're not gonna get the pure milk. So basically, you just gotta wipe away the whole bowl, and you gotta start it from scratch, and that could hurt you because depending on when you go into the washing machine may say, well, when the milk come back, you need to find another refrigerator for the milk and the eggs to go into, and you need to supply it.
Right.
How do you sell cereal?
You're saying that, and I'm gonna speak to the other side of marriage, and I'll let LJ kick in because I know he's a marriage guru himself. But the pro side of marriage is the fact that number one, this is business. It's a business. It is a business strategy. I will tell you that it's a couple's business strategy. If you really want to, and people always say power couple. I'm like, well, power couple starts with being married. You understand? It legitimizes your income. Actually, it increases because if it didn't have no real equity or being married didn't have no real power, it wouldn't be on those questionnaires for every loan you ever applied for. That's a fact. And so it shows the power of equity, but most importantly, it shows the power of unity. Now, you want to know what's the power, really the secret to poverty? Y'all want to hear this? Because this going to come straight from my own life. Well, this is mine. You know what's the secret to poverty? The secret of poverty, you ready for this? And our kids suffer from it big time. And most kids, not just black kids, but most kids suffer from this one secret of poverty. The word privacy. And so what I mean by privacy, and why I say privacy is the cause of poverty, is because you will hear parents say, okay, listen, baby, stay here until you can get on your feet. And when you move out of here, you can buy a house. And then you hear the kids say, oh, no, I need my own place. I'm an adult and I just need and here goes the word, because I need my own what? Privacy. And so what they would do was give up future equity, right? Right. And so instead of paying $500 at their parents' house, they'll go and pay $1,500 at a stranger house. And by the time they sense kick in, guess what they do? Move back to their parents' house to save up and they'll start at 10 years or 5 to 10 years. Later, what they could have started at 5 to 10 years earlier. Privacy is the #1 driver of poverty in our communities right now. I'm talking about educated people with jobs. Oh, I need my privacy. I'm like, wait a minute. If what you're saying is so, because I have to break down what privacy actually really is. Because sometimes you got to tell it to young people because they don't understand, like you understand what they're talking about. And so I have to let them know that, listen, man, if privacy look like you want to be able to have Joe Blow over anytime you want to, you understand? And you're paying $1,500 for that. I didn't even factor in utilities, groceries, and all that stuff. But if you're going to pay $1,500 just to have your privacy with Joe Blow or Lil Susie or whoever, you understand? And once they get access to you like they can, they're not going to want to see you all the time any damn. You understand? And so you know how to, you blowing the hell out of $1,500 because now you spending $1,500 a month and you don't even see them 15 times a month. But yet you want to have your privacy when you need to have it with Joe Blow at $1,500 a month, as opposed to spending $500 at your parents' house every month saving $1,000, and then spending $300 anytime or whenever Blojo or Slow Blow or Flojo, whoever the hell want to see you. You understand? But that don't make sense to them because privacy is the major thing that they want, and it's killing them and driving them to poverty real quick because they don't understand the power of unity. And so your parents telling you, listen, I can take that $500 that you're paying me every month and add that to the what they call it, to the principals on my mortgage. You understand? And if it took you 5 years to save up, and I only had 10 years left on my mortgage is paid off in 5 years simply because you gave $500 a month. Right. But no, Joe Blow got you paying 15. And then when Joe Blow kick you to the curb and you ain't got no more blows coming in, and now you want to take your ass back at zero. I mean, personally, I'm going to charge my kids when they bring their ass in. I'm like, listen, if I charge you $500 a month, it's going to cost you 3 months to move back to my damn house.
That's right.
You understand? It will cost you $500 to move back to my damn house. The fact that because you left disobedient and downright ignorant, you understand? And I'm trying to give you upward mobility. And the sad part about it is we get upward mobility to our parents and let strangers try. I'm like, man, people been trying to give you upward mobility all your goddamn life. But the problem is we don't want to listen to our unity because we value privacy too much. That ain't worth a damn thing. But messing your little womb up or your little ting dong, whatever it is. But it's just, I'm getting off of my soapbox. So y'all,
it's funny. It's funny. It's funny that you say that because to get back to the reason why after my mom left her place and I didn't go and stay with my auntie was because that same issue right there. And she explained something similar to that, where me and my boy cousin could do the same thing, hold both of them with two hands. And I didn't listen at the time because, like you said, privacy and being too prideful. Not realizing if I just humble myself and listen to what she was saying, I could have do that.
That's right.
And then hey, y'all stop yelling, I'm on a group. And then on top of that, I end up finding out being prideful and not having no privacy, I end up postponing what my cousin ended up having. He basically was paying her $500 a month. And guess what he did? When she retired and she wanted to travel the world with her retirement, because she was working for the school board, he ended up getting her place and put his name on the lease. So that showed me that, damn, only if I listen and stay with my mom and my auntie and my cousins, because she had three. I had 3 cousins that stayed with her, plus my mom. And I was like, yeah, that's too much people to like he said, I didn't have no privacy. Being too prideful. Like he said, I wanted to have privacy with my girl, not realizing I shot myself in the leg in the long run. Now I'm trying to get everything situation by myself, not realizing if I stayed down till I got up, I would have been just fine. I'll lay my plan on that.
So, ain't that real? I like that, Father. So we're open here. We're open. We're talking reality, and let's continue with the reality. Analysts say you should spend 30% of your income for housing. Yeah. So that will be, let me see, $2,000. Say you get $18 an hour, $2,000 after pay. That's like $600, right? I'm not the best mathematician. $600 for rent. Yeah. That's what it should be. Maybe a 1-bedroom. But in reality.
That's right.
But in reality, as we speak, we know that many people, as we speak, are paying up to 70 to 80% of their salaries on rent. So we talk about how to not be homeless, Father, at 70 to 80% for rent or mortgage. Some would say gentrification. I would say that. Some would say let's get them out of here and get them somewhere else because we need that property. It has value. We have a problem. we have a big problem, and our children are going to pay the cost of that. So we need to start finding solutions, because they may be an overall plan here that is going to cost us and our children big time, because there's no one on earth you can maintain that. If you get there are folks right now, if they get a flat tire on their car, their stress level goes up in the sky. Just a flat tire. I'm not even talking about the car breaking down. Just a flat tire. And these are some of the real scenarios that people face every day. And to some extent, folks who earn under 40,000, and there are many. So I'm glad we're having this conversation, because we need to come up with some solutions that are tangible, that can help us and help our children. Because I can tell you, the drama ain't going to fix it. We got to find some solution that can work. Anyways.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with all of you. The only little caveat that I wanted to add to that is, personally, I believe in short-term pain for long-term gain. And what I mean by that is, if you're going to make a mistake early, because your mistakes have a tendency to be cheap. Give you an example. In fact, I apologize for being late. What we're actually doing now is we're moving my daughter to Chicago. She's got a position in Chicago. So now she needs to find a place to live. Now, she has always lived with us. The problem there is that you're going from a place that you really didn't contribute to, in particular, to now you're contributing 100%. The issue that we're having is that now you're going from basically zero rent to $1,500 rent. The question is that we're running into is that you need to share this, would be our position, because you really can't afford this. This is taking 80-90% of your income just to pay your basic expenses. Oh, I can do it. And of course you think you can do it because you've never done it before. Mm-hmm. So of course you think you can do it, but there are going to be a lot of issues that's going to be confronting that. However, I think that is something that she's going to have to learn. That's something she's going to have to go through now. And I basically take responsibility for that, because what should have happened, in my opinion, is that we should have actually, like Lionel said, had her taking a bulk of the responsibility of the household income, the load. We did not do that. Or if she had moved out with a few friends and learned that scenario that somebody's not going to pay their share of the rent, or somebody's not going to do something, and that you're going to have to chip, and people are eating your food, and that, the things that you go through, and getting through those experiences. So now we're confronted with that, and the issue is now, how are we going to get out of that? And I really don't have an answer to that. Of course we're going to help her out. That's my daughter. We're going to do what we need to do. But at the same time, you're going to have to incur some pain, because you're going to have to learn now that there's everything you cannot afford. You cannot afford to just stay by yourself. There's some things that you're going to have to do that, even though you don't want to do them, you're going to have to do them. You're going to be put in that position to do them in order to survive. So you'll develop your survival instincts in order to make things happen. So while that is not a homelessness in terms of fatherhood, that's the situation I'm dealing with. But I do want to just kind of pivot just a minute and tell you about a good homeless situation that, if there is such a thing, that I incurred actually a couple of years ago. I ran into a friend at the store, and we talked, and he's like, "Oh, what you doing?" I'm just kind of kicking it around, that kind of thing. I said, "Well, listen, we're going to the fight tonight. Come to my house and watch the fight." So we watched the fight, and I was taking him home. I said, "Well, listen, I'll take you home." He didn't have a car. I said, "What do you let me drop you off to your house?" So he says, "Oh, you can just drop me off at the store here." So he says, "Listen, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Um, I'm homeless. I actually live in a storage shelter, and I've been living in this storage shelter for the past 2 years." Um, and we talked about the circumstance and some things that he needed to get straight, some legal things that he needed to get straight, and a lot of paperwork. And to make a long story short, we got his paperwork straight. He got his job. He's back and got his own place. He's reunited with his kids. He's making more money than he's ever made in his life. And it ended up to be a good story. But I actually didn't go back far enough in the story. When I originally met him, he was a banker in a bank, a loan officer in a bank, making very good money. So he went from banker to homelessness to back on top. And those kind of stories I enjoy telling and I love to hear. So
Love
Hey,
it.
thank you for sharing that, man. We needed to hear it. Rohan definitely need to hear it.
Yeah, man, for real.
Yeah, because you had some solutions in there as well, and you
Yes, sir.
definitely showed one of the strategies of being a village. I mean, you just took him to your house to watch a game. You understand? And that game actually helped them with the game of life. So it's just a blessing within itself, man. So thanks for sharing the story. Anybody else, please? Everybody share. It's a lot of
You know,
hands.
I'm gonna share
Yes,
something
I'll share.
from me. I was, and this is an interesting for me. It's a little bit interesting because I'm gonna take it from a college student's perspective. So I was over in Tallahassee for college, right? And so it takes me back to I had my own place because I was like, yo, I'm not gonna, I didn't want to stay on campus, whatever. I wanted my own spot. And so like Larry was saying, you go from not paying for anything to having to pay for everything, right? And here you have, and I think one thing when you think about homelessness is before you get to the spot, you think you have everything handled. You know what I'm saying? I could budget, I do this, but you never really plan for the unexpected because it's unexpected, of course. So I say that because part of living on my own when I was there was the decisions you have to make, right? It was like pay rent, pay electricity. That's a choice. So there was a time where I went like maybe like 2, 3 months without electricity. And so, but I was like, yo, I got a place to stay. I may not have, I got to just take cold showers. I got to study at the library, come home at a certain time. But it's those decisions that you make and the fear, and I want to say the fear of being homeless that also drives you to a specific mind frame and a thought. Because after that, I was like, yo, I never want to live this life, right? I don't want to go back to ever feel how this is. And so, granted that, at the time I was in college doing my thing, but hindsight, it moved me to a certain way and to start to behave a certain way to say, you know what, I have to start to prioritize and really think of what I want and what's going to be important and move in that direction so that I never have to go back and make those kind of decisions again. So it for me, I mean, the experience was slightly different, but I think overall, homelessness, whether it's a fear or an experience, it still manages and you can still come out with the same outcome when dealing with life.
I want to go back to what Lawrence was talking about. I think it's really, 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 really important as fathers with our children to really, especially in these last couple of generations, be very clear about how the world operates. The biggest frustration I have every day when I go into the school with the students I'm involved with is that they think the world owes them something. They have this kind of idea that they take my perception is they take everything for granted, and that they don't have to do very much. Things should be given to them. And when I thought about it when Larry was just describing that his daughter is going to go and have to fend for herself, you know, she also still has a major net because mom and dad is not gonna let her, you know, have to, you know, be like Gene with no electricity and trying to figure out how it works out. But you know, but a lot of kids ain't gonna have that same kind of net, but they got the same mindset like they will, you know. And so we have to do very, very, very strict kind of conversations and lessons learned with our children. The value of money, the value, how much things really cost. Like if your kids don't understand how much the electric costs, you know, some people have parents who were like Nazis. The lights was on. Who got the lights on? They cut the lights. like you don't need no light for that. Open the window. We'll cut the lights on until it get dark outside. You know, those kind of things. You would take it like that. It'd be just, why are we so cheap? But you don't realize until you see the electric bill for $300. And your paycheck is only $6. But your rent is $4. Well, not $4, back then, you know, something like that. You understand what I'm saying?
91, 92.
Huh? You already in the
90,
negative.
91, 92. I remember that rent back then. 92,
Right.
91, 93.
Right. So you already in the negative. So, you know, a big part of that is for us to be very mindful and think about if we don't want our children to even experience this idea of homelessness, we have to really, really teach them, explain to them, help them understand that money doesn't grow on trees. Nobody, I know it seems like stuff comes from wherever we bring it and how you get it, because we bust our butt and do a lot of stuff that you just don't know we do. So you have as kids. But if we go away, no one's going to do that for you. It's not, there's, you know, if something happens to us, if God forbid, you know, something, next thing you know, people's life, I've seen people whose life was turned completely upside down by the loss of a parent. Not, and they still had another parent, but that parent was the main breadwinner. That parent was the person who provided the financial money for everybody, and that person was gone, and the other parent didn't really know what to do. And so one of the older kids who had some knowledge had to take the leadership and still raise mom and help mom and all the other siblings, because all they, you know, they've basically been, you know, I would say, I guess you can't. Spoon fed. They've been spoon fed. I'm about to say breastfed, but it was the dad, so the dad ain't gonna be doing a breastfeed. So spoon fed. The dad spoon fed everybody whatever they needed and make sure they didn't have to suffer like he suffered. But sometimes they don't have to suffer to get the knowledge to know, so they don't end up suffering when you're not here to protect. So I know Kendrick, you wanted to say something. I just wanted to throw that out there, that we're talking about us being homeless and what might have happened with us, but we have to be thinking about the future of our kids and what are we giving them so they don't end up in that. Because I don't think rent and any of that's going to be changing anytime soon. I'm pretty sure by 2030, in the average place, rent will be for a small 1-bedroom, $1,500, not even a whole probably bedroom, just, you know, a quarter, a jail cell size, you know, will be $2,000. So imagine how much the rent on the whole house will be.
Hey, Ron, I'm going to rebuke that, and I'm going to tell you, I'm not even going to pray for it. I'm going to prophesy that this whole thing crashed to a point that and I'm talking about to a point that it never recovered, because I'm never a cheerleader for greed any guy.
Well, I'm not saying I don't want it to happen, like, boy. I'm just saying the way things are going, we can change it.
I have a narrative. I'm going to have that narrative because I understand speculation. And
we can change it. Well, we can change. We just got to get out of what some of you were saying. Get out of vanity about living and move into a little bit more of security of living. You know,
Yeah, because we have to
tiny
see this.
houses don't hurt.
No, but and back there, I'm just leave this
now.
right now. Kendrick, you can go ahead and kick in. The fact that we have to stop seeing families as families and understand families are companies. That's
Yes,
why they cost so much
yes,
money.
yes, yes, yes.
And the minute you understand that your family is a company, you will start to function in that capacity. Joe Jackson knew it well. Can't wait to see
everybody got productivity. Everybody got productivity.
Kendrick,
Go ahead, Kendrick.
Yeah, what's going on, Kings, man? Yeah,
What's
you
up,
can hear me?
man?
You can hear me?
Yeah.
What's going on, Kings, man? I know we was talking about homelessness, and pretty much just today, I was talking to a couple caseworkers at my son Aftercare Overtown Youth Center. Cause back in March, me and my son, we was living in this complex called Design Place for like 5 years. I moved in there in 2019. It was mostly Spanish and white, pretty much complex. It was maybe about 5 black families in there. I was the youngest that was in the complex, and I was the last to go. In March, they didn't want to renew my lease. I remember all the other families, they was like, they ain't renewing my lease. I'm like, damn, I hope they don't do that shit to me when it's time for me to renew my lease. And sure enough, they didn't want to renew my lease. And so March, me and my son, we was homeless from April, May, June, July, August for 5 months. I was applying for, he go to school downtown. So I was trying to stay in the same neighborhood locally, so I won't be too far from his school, you know. But every place I was applying for, I was getting denied. You know, I got a record from when I was in my 20s, you know, but I haven't had anything crazy since my son's been born in 2014. But all the landlords, all the property managers, they were Spanish. So they was denying me just because of, I'm trying to be politically correct, but because I was black, you know. So I got blessed with this Haitian family, and I told them my situation. They allowed me, and I was going through a family court situation at this time, so I needed to have my place. You know what I'm saying? Before I went back in front of this judge in September, I got blessed in August, and I was able to get this 1-bedroom studio. It downsized actually because one time I had a 2-bedroom. My son had his own room, and but I never even slept in my room. I used to do Airbnb out there too. So the apartment used to pay for itself. Now I downsized into a 1-bedroom studio. I'm paying $1,800 for this shit. You know what I'm saying $1,800 for a 1-bedroom studio. I don't even have a kitchen. We have a kitchenette. Right. You know, my last place, when we moved in there, I was paying $1,450. The rent went up to $1,500, but that was okay because it was a gated community. You know, had the washing machine, had the pool, playground for the son. So I was fine with that. $1,500 was affordable, but now I'm paying this $1,800 every month. It's killing me. You know what I'm saying? It's killing me to make this every month. But I'm looking for new housing right now as we speak. I actually applied for the Section 8 voucher that opened up in February. So I'm hoping that I'm one of the families that's selected for that. But it's just when I'm trying to move now, but I'm not having no luck because everybody that I apply for, they Spanish, and they, you know, even when I moved into Design Place, when I called them, they told me they didn't have nothing available. My director, because I do music, he called them. He Puerto Rican. He spoke to them in Spanish. They told him to come on down there that same day. He took me with him. He spoke to them on my behalf, let them know, you know, I'm his artist. We do music, blase, blase. He's speaking to them in Spanish. I signed at least that same day. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's getting crazy because they pushing. It's like, I don't know. I'm not living with no female. I'm not living off of her. I don't live with my son mother. It's just me and my son. But it's like they just discriminate me. They don't want me to be in none of the good places, you know, downtown, Brickell area. Right now I'm back in Little Haiti. You know, everything is perfect. It's not like how it used to be since back in the day. But it's just, why can I not be able to get into the nice buildings or the nice complexes just because I'm black? You know, and then I did apply for certain spots in Overtown. They still denied me. So it's like, you know, it's just a tough spot that I really don't know what to do, how to, because I'm trying to move, but I know I'm just thankful for where we at now, and I'm not complaining about it, but I'm just happy that we have a place. Our home is not as what we used to, but we made it work. And yeah, it's definitely getting crazy with the homelessness, but I know for those past 5 months, because me and my son mother has 50-50 timeshare. So on her days when he used to go to his mom's house, I just sleep in my car and
Close the door.
just
Close
so I
that
wanted to
door.
stay out the
Your
area.
sister
But when
left
I
it
tried to go
open.
to shelters or anything, they wouldn't even accept me. They said I had to have 100% sole parental responsibility of the child. And it was like, I'm not about to just give up my rights and, lose custody of my son because of my situation. But they wouldn't accept me just because I didn't have 100%, only had 50-50. Go ahead, big boy. So that's pretty much my story. And like I said, it was a tough 5 months, but we made it through. And he never know what was going on. He didn't know as far as when I think about Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith in that movie, that's the story of my life right there. And that's just how I continue to move. I just keep my head up. I don't complain about nothing. I stay resilient. But it's like they want to see a man just. There's only two places for an angry black man, but it's like it's only so much that I can take. That it's like they just forcing me because I'm trying to do everything the right way now. I'm not doing nothing illegal. I'm not making illegal money. I'm trying to do everything by the books. But it's just like, damn, man, they make it hard for the black man, but they make it so easy for all the Spanish communities. It's like, why we not getting the same type of
You, you
help
know,
or assistance when it
Ken,
comes to the fathers?
You want to know something? What I think we have to sometimes start to really do is, and most of the housing and things I've got is I got it from my people, right?
Mm.
And we just have to have a better, stronger network of us, because in the past, when I talk about this so often, from from Emancipation Proclamation to the Civil Rights Movement, we was taking care of each other. You if you need a place to stay, Betty and them said, I'm right now in the process of, my grandmother wrote a book. I'm reading the book so I can write the forward for it. And in that book, the stuff she describes about my great grand aunts and uncles and how they lived, and how she had rooms in her house that she made sure people needed places to stay. So she had a big house and people stayed. And it goes almost back to what Lana was talking about. If we can get back to this idea of having our community and focusing, having a community for us, we would get out of this. I got to have my own house with my own stuff. And we could then begin to develop the financial money we need to build for our own houses, our own thing. We're getting killed trying to, it's like trying to go and swim in the ocean when we never even learn how to swim in the bathtub. That's what it's almost like when we get into these things. And the people, from the time they was born, their parents took them from out of the right out of the uterus and put them in a swimming pool to swim around. You know what I'm saying? And then they
Fresh
got
out.
people there to help them swim and do through the swim. Then when they leave, there's somebody taking them. So we have to really focus ourselves and say, what is our community doing to make sure that, here's a brother like Kendrick who doesn't have a lot of money, but he'll take care of my property. He'll take care of my property, and I know that he may even make sure my property is good, because I want to get out of it, and I'm going to make my house duplex so him and his kid can stay at the bottom and I stay at the top. These are the kind of things, and I think I understand people's fear and their apprehension for some of it, but if we don't start moving closer to that unity of helping each other, we're gonna be sick. Listen, Larry said it clear. His daughter's not gonna go without when she go up there. Whatever she need, they gonna make sure she have it. We have to have that mindset about all the people in our community, especially when we see they trying to do something. You almost see a completely different thing sometimes, and I don't say it's our nature. I think it's just us trying to be who we not, trying to, be somebody else, be affiliated with other people instead of just be like, we'll say, oh no, I ain't gonna let them stay in my house because they're gonna tear it up. Listen, you let the other people stay in your house, guess what? They're gonna do wear and tear on the house the same capacity. It's not like these people planning to tear your house up. We have to kind of, and I think like Lightborn said a minute ago, have a positive narrative about what's going to happen, not always have a negative narrative about dealing with us and helping us and working with us. And that's where some of that comes from.
Yeah, right. A quick one for Kendrick. A real quick one. Kendrick, after going to the courts, I learned one thing: follow the numbers. I'm a numbers guy. I thank that judge today. He really changed my life. Those communities that you go to, they have rules. They have to. The leasing office may say, okay, no, or try to dissuade you, but they have rules. They have to rent that place. If it's a rental, there are laws that are in place to protect us. They can say to you, say no, and you can make a phone call and call those folks, the housing authority, and they'll say, hey, no, it doesn't work like that. You have to accept this guy. There's a law, and let me tell you this one. I read it. It was so sad. There's a law on the books that says if they call a place for rent and they say to you like, do you have a record? And you say like, yeah, I do. And they say, okay, no, we can't rent you. It doesn't work like that. You see, whatever we go through in life, the journey of our life, you can't use that to penalize a person. Mind you, people use it, of course, to generalize people, but there's laws that protect you. So they can't say to you, man, try to dissuade you or to make you feel away. There's laws out there. So you call the right people, which you did, obviously, but there are laws that can protect us to get into those places because you have rights like everyone else.
Yeah, but the problem with that, Rohan, is if they're willing to tell me that, what's going to happen when I do move there? Why do I want to give these people who didn't want me to come there my money so they can prosper off of where I'm living?
Okay.
It's almost
okay.
We have to now. We might have to, but do I have to?
Let me clear something up real quick because I'm very intentional. I'm not gonna say intentional. You make it like you're smart. No, I think God put my friendships together. And so, to your point, Kendrick, let me clear something up for you. Design Place, and y'all gonna look. You know what? Y'all know what Design Place used to be called?
With all the hate, there was a community for the Haitians.
It was Sable Palm.
Sable Palm, yeah.
The notorious Sable Palm, the birthplace of Zopan, right? So now it's Design Place where a few migrants, or better we say migrants, because they came over with money, so they could be migrants. Mm-hmm. It's just very wealthy migrants. They came over and they purchased the place. Kendrick, what you don't know or unbeknown to you, that place has been sued 3 times for racism, and all 3 times they were liable, all 3 times for racism.
Facts, I know. I had a news reporter lady that was on my side.
And guess who sued them? One of my dear friends from Project Hope that sued them, which is a legal organization that actually sues for housing discrimination throughout South Florida. Mm. And so what I'm telling you, it's not you, it is them. Mm. Now, some people like everything is not the white man. I'm like, in this case, it is. Yeah. And so now when I talk about how we and I told you earlier, I say what happened is the number one reason for poverty is privacy. And so where the same privacy drives poverty for individually, right? Individual for your individual self. Well, the same privacy drives poverty collectively, which simply means we keep what we're doing to each other, to ourselves rather, and as opposed to sharing it with each other. And because we haven't made a network of sharing it with each other, you don't really know where to turn to actually get the housing that you need. You understand? To grow and you and your son culturally and holistically like you really need to be treated the right way and get the real growth that you need to know how to navigate to become the owner you deserve to be, right? And so I'm going to tell you in the right place, because if you at OIC, all you have to do is talk to Tina, because you got to remember, Tina was, and Tina them were no Black people who own houses that were rich to you. And so now, if you want to break any cycle of poverty, then you have to start with transparency, which is a simple rate for just asking. Say, listen, just pull her aside and say, Miss Tina, listen, you know anybody? Because one thing about it, I'm gonna tell you something. Anybody you ask, They don't want to go home and be traumatized by knowing they didn't help you. Tina is one of those people. I'm one of those people. Ron, everybody on here is one of those people. And one thing about it is we don't want to have to fall asleep knowing we didn't help a person meet a need at the end of that day, or at least left them with a number that they can start with tomorrow. Right? So Tina is one of those people. The Circle of Brotherhood got a lot of black men who own stuff over there. The Circle of Brotherhood is in Brown Summit. They had the old Florida Heights building off 52nd Street and August 24th Avenue. They're pretty good. It's a circle. It's a great men network. When I say a great network of men, that's just have men from all walks of life. They got guys from the street. What they like to say, from the streets to the suites. And so they have a huge network that those guys, a lot of them guys in their own properties as well. And so what you would do is tap both. You would tap Tina for somebody in her network, and then you would go to the Circle of Brotherhood, again, which is in Brown Summit, open from 9 to 5. And you can tap somebody in that network and just, again, be transparent, let them know where you're at, and so they can advocate on your behalf, your behalf. You understand? But if nobody knows what's going on with you, they can't really help you. So be transparent with Tina first, and then work your way over to the Circle of Brotherhood, and that your network going to get very big. Soon as you let the people know your situation, you're going to see how fast that works.
Yeah, I just brought it to OYC attention just today. So they've been helping me. They sent me a couple 16 properties actually. I called them today and the people said they was gonna get back to me and let me know about vacancy or whatnot. But yeah, you're right. The closed mouth don't get fed. Just gotta let people know your situation. And that's what I've been, cause I normally just handle my things and I try my best to try to not be a burden on anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, but sometimes you need help. And that's where I'm at right now, because it's like I'm getting denied everywhere.
It's not help. You know what? And here, and I want us to begin to verbalize it different, right? So what you just said, it's due to us. It ain't just help. It ain't like, oh, poor us. It is due to us, just like it's due to everybody else. But we then, as men, I think sometimes say, we gonna bend and grin, bear and grin. Whatever happens, we ain't gonna be no little bitch. We ain't gonna be no, we ain't gonna be no whiner. We're gonna take it and we're gonna make it work out. Sometimes making it working out is pushing the button to get a lawsuit for $72 million. Oh, not 72 million, maybe $708,000 because of wrongful housing issues. Oh, you can be sure you can help. You can help yourself and other people in that same disposition to get some good housing.
Yeah, I was in the news article because I had called this news reporter because she was reporting on discrimination from Design Place. So it actually did buy me. Like I said, I was the last of all the black families that get removed from Design Place, But she wrote an article on it, and they said it wasn't illegal for them not to didn't want to renew my lease. They said that was legal. Like they didn't have to renew my lease if they didn't want to. So I was trying to fight it, and because it was like it was no reason for them not to want to. All my rent was always paid on time. I was cool with everybody there, from the custodians to neighbors. It's just the property manager. She used to always have it out for me. For some strange reason, like my son would be riding the electric dirt bike around the complex, everybody waving, smiling. She had mean mugs on her face, or my mom's visit from Washington, D.C., she'd say something like, well, the pool is only for the residents, not for guests. Like, and things like that. So it was just, when I used to speak up to her about it and kind of, state my point, she just had it out for me to the point when it was time to renew my lease. She made sure that she was the first one to tell me we're not renewing it. You have to find another place to go. And I was just like, wow, that's how she got me. You know what I'm saying?
I'm this for every man on here. Don't ever feel, and I mean this to the heart, to the core. Never feel like you what you call it, a burden. You're always a brother and never a burden. If you don't remember nothing else, remember that. When it comes to particularly our culture and your people, and I want to say this for all of humanity, but I could just talk right now within our ethnicity. You're always a brother, never a burden. And that should always take down that wall. man, be ready to ask your brother at any given moment. I don't give a damn. They're more likely to be nice than nasty. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
But never see yourself as a burden, and always see yourself as a brother. That's all I want to say.
Hey, Kendrick, another one
Yeah.
I tell my students, and I'm going to share it with you. You know, gold, right? Gold is something that people cherish and people purchase, and it has value. But what most people don't know is that gold go through stress. It is dug from the ground. It is a mineral that is superheated to some crazy temperature, and then you have gold. So keep on working on your plan. Keep on working on your music. You right now you're going through the what do you call it, that superheat. So keep on working, and then there's a goal at the end of the tunnel, or on the way through the tunnel. So use this heat to build yourself, make your name. You said you mentioned something about music. I don't know if it's a producer or a singer, but think about it. What does music do? Music gets people together to take them out of their pain, even if it's an hour. So as long as you use that as your goal, you could help people who get them out of their pain, because you've walked the path before. So look at yourself as gold. Right now it's not together, it's pieces in the oven being warmed, being heated. But trust me, brother, if you keep on working on your plan, you're gonna look back and say, man, this was worth it.
You're gonna come out like solid gold. I definitely know.
There we go, bro.
Hey, Ron, I'm sorry, gentlemen. Okay, Ron, you at time. I just got to keep you up. Since Jag ain't here to do his job.
Yeah, well, I know we was right about at that time. So I've been keeping the clock myself. So I really want, let me pull up this ad so I can make sure we see that and share with everybody the actual programming that if people are interested in being a part of that. About tomorrow, I know that we have group tomorrow, but clearly, if you are in Florida, because this is for people who own houses in Florida, to participate in this housing counseling. And let me just pull it up really quick. So I think everybody can see it right now. So it's a housing counseling service put on by Wealth Watchers Florida's. It's tomorrow from 6 to 8. It's a Zoom meeting, so all you have to do is link onto the login and go on. If you need to, you definitely can, go onto the page, go onto my page and pull the link out. I'll put it, if people are interested in it, when we get off, I'll put it into the chat here. But again, it's on Wednesday, sign up. And if the people qualify, they'll receive a $50 Visa gift card per household electronically for attending. So, I mean, worst to worst, I mean, to sit down and participate and get $50 electronically. If I owned a house in Florida, I'd probably be on there, be doing double duty. But my house is not in Florida, so I can't do that. So again, that's something that really thinking about when we really talking about topics and subjects, we also want to be able to bring some resources and solutions to people on what they can do to help do what they need to be able to do.
Hey Ron, someone sent a message.
What's the next?
Kerry Williams says, I don't know that person. Said say something. You see that?
Okay, I'll come back. I'll come down to him. Yeah, I'm I can't see anything because I'm sharing the screen right now, but it'll come back to to that. With that being said, so again, that's out there. I'll be posting it again over and over if you're interested in trying to find out. You know, I wish I had one of these for how to get affordable houses. There's always how to get some affordable housing, and that's the kind of things I'm looking for. I wish we had out here that we really need. Um Carrie.
Carrie.
No, Kerry said he want to say something. He would like to share something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Carrie, you can come on in. You get the last word before I close us out.
Carrie, you there?
Kerry,
You guys have his or her number or
you
something?
up, Kerry?
Yeah, I mean that was only a couple minutes ago.
Oh yeah, he can't get in. He said he can't get in, or she can't get
But
in.
yeah,
Oh,
but
I think his microphone might be blocked. Because sometimes when you log in, sometimes it'll block the mic, then you got to log off and log back in again.
but it got everything. Hold on, let me. Okay, I pushed the button off for him. What about now?
No, he's still on mute.
Let's text him. Let me text see if he knows he's on mute.
No, he can hear us. He just can't get the mic on. Usually, when you have to just log off and log back on for it to come on, but it's Zoom.
Hello.
Yeah,
Charles Scott. Let's see.
Good evening to you all. I trust and hope that you all have been a pleasant and glorious evening. I thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. And I know you're trying to get Kerry on the line. There are a couple of factors before I start. I'll share with you all that's very important to all of your discussions this evening. I am the Director of Outreach for Congresswoman Frederica Wilson. And a lot of my work has to do with the homeless and homes that are needed in South Florida at the present time. I spend a lot of time talking with mayors and commissioners and city council persons throughout South Florida, both in Dade and Broward County, trying to help people to find appropriate housing. Last week, Monday, I was in Aventura, the Dade County mayor and the chairman of the Dade County Commission, Oliver Gilbert, Mayor Levine Carver. And I will tell you, in all of your discussions this evening relative to homelessness and the need for especially African American men and Black men as a whole to find somewhere decent to live, especially in the circumstances of divorce and family challenges, it's imperative that you be mindful of the fact that in Dade County alone, I could speak primarily to Dade County issues because most of my issues are in Dade County.
Because I'm on a Zoom and I'm trying to get in there, but don't leave because we need to.
Kerry, we can hear you now, but let Charles finish.
Oh, you can hear me? I'm sorry. I didn't know you could hear me.
There's a shortage. There's a shortage presently of 90,000 units of affordable homes. Presently, 90,000. Projections are that by 2020, the end of 2025, that reach 110,000. This year, the federal government's given to Dade County additional 5,000 housing vouchers for Section 8. And in 1 month, the county put on a portal that information and notification to the public. They received 100,000 applications for 5,000 units. The mayor was saying she didn't want to shut the portal down because she wanted to see how many people totally will be applying for those 5,000 units. And I'm inclined to believe by the end of this month, we're going to see that number get pretty close to double. And there's some driving forces associated with this. And a lot of what you were saying on this line tonight, I call it shade tree talk, but a lot of it is very factual. Last year, between January 1st and September 30th, we had 425,000 Cubans alone moved to South Florida from Cuba. And those folks come needing homes, needing assistance with social issues. In the city of Hialeah, where a lot of them end up settling, there's a major problem with RVs now being illegally parked in homes and connected to the municipal systems, wastewater systems, electrical systems, and water systems as a whole. Why it's all important in the context of the home factor is the fact that people are staying in tool sheds in the back of people's yards. Mayor Bovo from the city of Miami, city of Hialeah, sorry, got on television about a month and a half ago speaking to this, the challenges he's faced with as new mayor of Hialeah, trying to deal with it. An overburdening of their municipal systems, especially the wastewater and stormwater systems. I say that to you all because there's so much about what you're talking about in roundabout circles relative to the need of single fathers and men who are going through challenges of trying to be a father to their children that need to be addressed. That the social welfare structure in South Florida, both from the city, state, and the federal government levels, need to be addressed. But unfortunately, the pipeline to set in place advocacy programs to the requisite responsible individuals and leaders of the community are not there. So you find a lot of people are bucking their heads against the wall, trying to find how do they gain access to the system that's supposed to be so responsive to their needs, but failing to do so. And I say this to you because every single day I find a lot of elderly, a lot of single mothers and fathers, veterans, find themselves in this quagmire of frustration. And they call our office. And I have to try and help them find someone to stay with us with the Homeless Trust or some of the other ancillary private sector housing agencies that assist in this regard. And it's a challenge. It's a very serious challenge. We find the cost of living is rising so rapidly. In Dade County, is that 10.something% inflationary rate, the highest in the nation. Tampa is not too far behind 7.1, 7.9%. And you're Broward not too far behind that. So as you look at the challenges you're talking about with especially African American males, keep in mind, we're the least to benefit from the social welfare structure in this country. We're the least. Because most of us don't even get to live long enough to receive the social security benefits that we work so hard to put in there all our lives. We die short of that time. And so it's imperative as we go forward here that somewhere, somehow, we find a solution, not necessarily in what we say on the line here tonight, but in the structure of governance and those systems or society mechanisms that are put in place as institutions to address them. And I'd be more than happy to entertain discussing these things and/or finding solutions as appropriate, especially single fathers and those who are challenged with homelessness and are close to homelessness at the present time. Again, my name is Charles C. Scott II. I'm more than happy to help.
I know who you are, Charles C. Scott II. I'm glad. Thank you for coming, man. I greatly appreciate you gracing us with your voice on the line. I didn't know that was you, but then I know who it is. Go ahead, let Kerry go ahead and talk.
Charles, put information in the chat for us.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm on my cellular phone at the present time because I didn't get to the house to do the chat, but my number is 305.
Hold on.
Charles.
Yeah.
I'll send it to everybody so Ron can send it to you because it's a live. So everybody in YouTube.
Oh yeah. hey, Light Boy, thanks for reminding.
Thank you. That's a lifeline, by the way. I really appreciate that. Thanks for letting me know.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Kerry, you can get these last words now.
God bless.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you, my brother.
All right, Kerry, you up, baby?
Give me an voice there.
You want to do that? Do a what?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. How everybody doing? Again, I'm listening to the conversation. I'm at work because I work from 4 to 12. So I'm at work and I'm trying to do my job and listen to you guys. But I'm listening to what you're saying, and basically what we need to understand is this first. We live in a system. There's only one major religion in the world, man, right now, and it's the system of supremacy. And if you don't understand that system, then everything else about anything else is going to confuse you, because that's the Kool-Aid in the water, so to speak. You know what I mean? We live in a country where right now they want to vote for someone who, and again, I'm not, when it comes to politics, I get it. To me, it's not politics, it's politics, basically. But again, we live in a country right now where people will vote for a guy who, I don't know, pay prostitutes, I don't know, grant women on the whatever, lie a lot of times. So when we start talking about these things and we get to the morality of the situations, we have to understand the nature of the beast. And once we understand the nature of the beast, then we can plot a course that's going to get something. And the first nature of that beast that we're dealing with is divide and conquer. So if we divide it, see, how can I say this? An organized minority can control a disorganized majority very easily. You see, all people don't have to participate in the system for a system to work. Just enough people who are influential enough and powerful enough to be able to work that system. Now, all people can benefit from a system like that if that system put in place for a certain segment of the population, but all people don't have to participate in it, or to maintain it, refine it, or even to establish it, you see? So if we don't understand that first, then I don't care. A wise man once said, they give you a solution and they give you a solution, but every solution is just another trap. They're not solutions, it is a different trap. And until we understand that, we have to get back to the understanding of a unified attack, because the gains and everything that we have made today only resulted when we were unified. That's when we got that. But when we're not, then we run into these problems, because at the end of the day, everybody's necessary in society. You can have wealthy people. Who's going to cut the grass? Who's going to fix the boat? Who's going to do these things? So everybody is needed. You can't have a society where we don't have people at every different levels. That's like a body without certain parts. Every part is needed, from the smallest part to the biggest part. But I think we haven't done a good enough job. First of all, we give our votes, Democrat or whatever, we give our votes to people and don't make them accountable or responsible for getting our votes. They already know they're going to get it, so to speak. And what do we get for that? And we need voter education and voter registration. We need to understand why we're voting, what a vote do. But you got to understand there's a lot of tricks in that. You got redlining, you have redistricting, you have all kinds of games where they can break the districts up in such a way that if you don't come together, or even if you come together, you don't have enough votes, because we didn't drew the lines in such a way to counteract that. So that's why I say it's a lot of tricks and traps to that. And, it's too much pontificating and not enough action and systems put in place. Because remember, we're dealing with systemic stuff. We're not dealing with stuff, and other people have codes, meaning if this certain person walk into the bank and the person looks like him, he already know he's going to tell him all the loopholes to get what he needs. Where the other person gets told all the barriers as to why he can't get that. You see what I'm saying? And if we're not running or controlling these institutions on any level, then there's nobody. You can go on a corner and yell all kinds of stuff all you want, and this and that. Nobody cares about that, because the truth, that's not what it is. It's just, and until we start dealing with these systems, remember, it's a 400-year head start, and people not see. Part of it is we'll walk around with a $5,000 bag with $100 in it. One person will walk around with a plastic bag with $5,000 in it. Those kind of mentalities that got us, and I get it. Immediate gratification. You never had shit. You want to have something, and self-esteem is important. You want to feel good about yourself, and I get all these kind of things here. But the truth of the matter is that we got to start from the ground up, because we have been dealt in a way to where we have to start from almost the bottom and start establishing some things that's going to put us in perspective. I heard you talking about the kids and this and that, but one of the things what happened today, we live in the AI generation. We live in the information age. So people have a lot of information, especially our children. They have a lot of information, but they have no experience. So they have all this information, but again, you don't really understand how it plays out in real life and in real action. So a lot of times they talk and they presented these things, but they don't have a clue about it. You know what I mean? You're telling me about being a parent, say your child telling you about parenting. You had kids when? When did you have kids? When did you raise anything? You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I just think on a fundamental principle, and the people who have shit got to be willing to share with the people who don't. See, in my mind, the person who needs the most help should get help first. You know, but yet and still, we get mad at the homeless for being homeless. The fuck wrong with you? You homeless? I mean, what's wrong with you? You homeless? How did that happen? You gonna beat them up because of that? You know what I mean? So a lot of times we don't understand that the system is working in such a way to create this. Wise brother once said, "You don't take your case to the criminal. You're the one who's doing it. So why would he help you to do that?" I explained last time. It's a gumball theory. We 12% of the population, but we're 100% of the people in jail. We're 100% of the people in poverty. We're 100% of this and that. So what? We just went around making ghettos, just saying, you know what? Everywhere we go, we just gonna make it a ghetto. No. If you took all the economy out of our areas and you have certain rules and laws and this and that to create certain situations, you know, we've been maneuvered into a lot of things. And then you put into that the self-hate and this and that. As a matter of fact, what I'll tell you is this. I got a book, and the book is called Collections of Reflections. You go on YouTube, I mean, you can go on Amazon and get it. It's probably, if you download it on a Kindle, I don't know how much it is, maybe $6, $7 now. But if you go on there and you get that book, it's about 50 poems in there that describe everything you're talking about and give you solutions. My name is Kerry Williams. Just go to African Poetry, this and that, and you can get the book. You can read it. And I put it in poetic terms because one of my strengths is that I can take a lot of information and put it in a way to where it's understandable to a layman. And that's what we got to do. We got to take baby steps, because what we don't understand, and like I said, the people who make it are responsible for the people who not making it or struggling. The biggest lie we tell ourselves is that someone else is responsible for us as a culture. No one else is responsible for us. We're responsible for us. And then when we look at how everybody else deal with us and handle us, then we should do the same. You know, we're the ones who, oh, it's all right, and this. Now I'm listening to the brother how he got just railroaded totally. You know what I mean? About some foolishness. You know, at design place, the brother said all he's trying to do is take care of his child. And $1,800 a month to stay in a studio, that's ridiculous, man. So again, but nobody is going to do for us what we need to do to ourselves. And groups like this and talks like this is how that happened. You know, it's like compound interest, bro. Keep saving your money over time. At some point, it's going to start compounding. But it's like baby steps. You know, we looking at it and we think we're going to come up with this one plan. No, that's not it. First thing, we got to get back to who we was as a people and understand that we all came over here the same way, so to speak. You know what I mean? And just dividing and conquering. I'm better than you, and I'm this and that. First of all, showing off, that's our problem. So you go get a car from a dealership, you drive it around the neighborhood to show off to the people who don't have shit. But the person who sold you that car got a whole car out of him. He's not impressed. So you see, so it's the little things we do that create the big problems. You're never gonna get bit by a crocodile or a horse or a lion or a tiger. You're gonna get bit by mosquitoes and gnats and flies. It's gonna be the little shit that's gonna bother you. And it's the same way in life. It's gonna be the little decisions you make that's gonna make big problems for you. Not the big decisions, because you're not gonna get to them, because the truth is that you have to build brick by brick. And that's what we have to do. And we have to remember who we was. We built pyramids, man. That's what we did. We pyramid builders.
Well, Kerry, what you and I'm just going to wrap this up. We way over.
Yeah.
What we're gonna do, I think a lot of us, what we're gonna focus on is and when we come back to this conversation again, a little homework is to understand how we have to start asset mapping our culture. Asset mapping. That simply means is what tangible value do we bring to each other? You understand? So we can come back to that, to your point, Kerry, to the Ubuntu of who we are. You understand?
Exactly.
And the Ubuntu just simply loosely translated just mean I am because we are. And so when we come to that Ubuntu of who we are, then we can be more effective again. But again, I got to find, simply put, I just got to find more of what's right with us than what's wrong with us. That's the truth of asset mapping. So I'm just leaving it right there.
Right. No problem. Thanks for letting me speak, brothers.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. Oh, thank you, Kerry. Always, Kerry. Hey, Kerry, you got to open a standing spot on here. So do your thing every Tuesday, all right? And Ron, go ahead and handle
I just at work. That's all. And then I'm giving out medicine and doing all because so I couldn't really jump in there like that. But I try to check you brothers out when I get a chance. And again, right, the book don't cost nothing. All it is some finger clicks, bro. It's just a couple of clicks and this and that and all that and this and that. And the reason I say that is because a lot of times it's good information, but we don't even know. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about me. All I try to do is put something out there that can help us get a better understanding of a whole lot of things and try to make it, catch on to each and every one of us so we can become the best version of ourselves. That's it, man.
Gary, what's the name of the book again?
It's called Collections of Reflections.
Okay, Collection of Reflections. Okay.
Right. All right, and with that collection, we're gonna start reflecting. Reflecting. Your father, repeat after me. I am.
I am.
I am.
I am.
I am a man of honor.
I am a man of
honor.
I am.
I am.
I am.
I am.
I am a man of courage.
I am.
I'm a man of courage.
I say I am.
I am.
I am.
I am.
I am a man of respect.
I am a man of
respect.
Now, my men, my friends, my brothers, I say that I am.
I am.
I say that you are.
You are.
I say that we are.
We are.
Championship
Yes, sir.
All right, brothers.
Hey Ron, I'm sorry, brother. I was listening. I just didn't get a chance to talk tonight, my bro. So I was on here, but I've been multitasking. So I wanted to chime in, but I'll chime in tomorrow.
We got you. Okay, brother.
Hey, that means you owe for next week, partner.
Yeah, you know.
Can Charles give his contact number?
Hey, Lala, you know.
Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me close that. Let's close it.